Welcome to In the Moment with Kortia, where we inform, inspire, and motivate you to be a positive agent of change. And hey, it's terrific Tuesday. We still have great momentum going. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it on the inside. It feels like it's going to be a hyper day today. And look, I'm very much in tune to what God's going to be doing on the show on this morning. But before we really get into our subject matter today, and of course, our extra special guest that we have back in the house with us again.
Yes, sir. Young Mello, the bucket getter.
Yeah. Mel Smith,
yes,
bucket getters. Amen. I just want to say good morning and shout out to Central Louisiana, Natchitoches, Gina, Alexandria at 88.1 FM, Monroe, West Monroe on 98.9 FM, Shreveport, Greenwood on 92.5 FM, St. Joseph, Natchitoches, Mississippi on 99.3 FM, and Lake Charles on 100.1 FM. And for those of you on the sound of my voice, call in with your questions or comments at the local number, 318-484-2500, and toll free at 877-464-2500. And I appreciate all of you that have been following us across social media at all our platforms. So just continue that. Go to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan, or go to our website at InTheMomentWithKortiaKuzan.com. And again, we've got our special guest in the house with us today, Mel Gibson of Go Getters. And just like on yesterday, bucket getters. Hey, to be a bucket getter, you have to be a go-getter. My wife just said,
yes,
hey, you need another shot of coffee?
Yeah.
I just might, but that's okay. But,
All good.
we were talking about on yesterday about, the process of, training kids for life. And we touched on, so many good topics that, Mel, to, where, you brought up something that yesterday that I really didn't even think about and we didn't even get around to. And so, we kind of rolled it over to today on this terrific Tuesday. And, you were talking about, really that whole financial literacy. And I never would have equated you guys talking about financial literacy, with
Yes,
the kids. I mean, what is that all about?
It's actually part of the curriculum that we have with our after-school program.
Mm-hmm.
And we started implementing it during the Christmas break and the New Year's break when we had our day camps. It was one of the things that, was kind of brought to us as an area in which our kids were kind of lacking, because we were kind of lacking in it also. When we were graduating high school and going into college and things like that, we didn't have courses and stuff like that. So it's basically just a brief introduction to where kids can start learning to count money, starting learning to deal with money.
That's good.
Where they're starting to, hone their addition and subtraction skills, even multiplication and division, and we have some great tutors, and who have pretty much, made our curriculum a very, very, I'd say it's very,
Helps to sharpen those kids.
basically that's what it's doing. That's what it's doing. It's not really introducing them to something they don't know. We're kind of trying to take what they're learning already in school, and we're trying to apply it to different areas to where they can start, like I said, at least getting a brief introduction to it. So
Right.
it's part of our curriculum, man, and we're really excited about it. And we're looking forward to continuing it as we do our next camps, like over the summer.
I mean, that's just like awesome, because I tell you, nowadays, as far as like in the school system, just like you were saying, stuff like that, as far as like teaching financial responsibility of the kids, it's just not prevalent. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Even with our kids, they're in a nice school, good school system, but if you go to kids nowadays and you just said, okay, show me how you write a check or
Right.
anything like that, they
Right.
probably look at you like, what is a check?
Yep. Yep.
All they know, a lot of them right now, it's about, if it's cash money or possibly using like a debit card.
Right.
I think
Right.
more kids nowadays could probably go on Amazon and use a debit card
yeah.
as opposed to writing a check or anything.
Yep, and that's where it's going to, But if you want to, just be technical about it, cash is the basics of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just like when we start our training, we like to start at the basics. When we teaching basic principle life skills, that's one of the things you should know, And so even though, it's migrating more to the electronic purchases and things like that, like the importance of writing a check or the importance of balancing out a checkbook, or keeping up, with budgets, with expenses and stuff like that. Like that's the beginning and introduction to being able to stand on your own too, when you step into adulthood. So I think, that, like I said, that along with the other things we have on our curriculum is very important. And like I said, it was something that was introduced to us, and we kind of took it and added it, and now it's become, something that we very much are, pushing with our kids and stuff like that to get them started along that path to learning those things.
Awesome. And this is what I'm actually getting, okay? If you haven't already picked up on this, okay? Identify exactly what Mel just said, okay? You're just talking about the whole financial aspect with these kids, okay? And for those of you that actually tuned in on yesterday and how we were talking about the dynamics of getting them sharp, disciplined in the physical sense, teaching them these skills, helping them with, this process of being more equipped in life. But see, what you haven't realized is that with Mel and bucket getters of being right there in their moment, they're causing and really bringing these other the kids into their individual moments, and they're actually crafting them as a whole, okay, to be the, the total package, okay?
Correct.
I mean, that's the best way I can actually put that. And the thing is that a lot of times, parents, close friends, when you hear about, okay, basketball camp, as you want to say, or basketball training,
right,
in your mind, okay, well, that's pretty much it.
Right.
They're just going to go shoot some basketball.
Right.
But, at right now at Bucket Getters, for those of you, like I said, that are listening, all right, you're not just getting a place to where, and, hey, we're going to be real with it, and I'm just going to bring it out. A lot of parents take this as an opportunity to just say, hey, I'm going to drop my kids off over here, pay the money, and give me a little free time to myself, okay? Yeah. But they really don't see that on the back end of that at how it's an investment. And listen to what I'm saying. You're literally making a life investment in your child, okay, whether a boy, whether a girl, to actually not only help them sharpen their skills, to gain discipline, to get some basic fundamentals. But, I mean, wow. I mean, I'm just in awe about this whole financial aspect of it, though.
And, some parents, they do want that time and that freedom. And, we want to give them that, So if you want to drop them off and consider it like a daycare or something like that, that's fine, because, you deserve that. We want to help you with that as well. And we don't mind doing it, but on our end, we're still going to give them what we got to give, So, and I think it kind of started more of a basketball camp, as far as with the after school. And now, because we started doing it after school and we did it during, breaks where they're out of school and things like that, like we had to implement some type of educational curriculum for them, because that's beneficial. You cannot play sports if you're not taking care of your business in the classroom, period.
Exactly.
So we had to, implement those things, and Tony Alonso is the head of that, and he is doing a great job with that, along with his whole Inspired team, with Coach Abby and Coach KD, Coach Tripp, Coach Coach Andrew. Man, they doing a great job with that, and that's just another aspect, another side of it, that I didn't see from the beginning, obviously.
Right.
But like I said, once we transitioned into doing it after school, like we could not just come in and play basketball and not provide a place for you to get your homework done.
Right. So you just actually heard Mel touch on a point that I stress. It seems like continuously, okay, through the show, is that Mel had vision, okay, but see how the vision from where he started from it's now expanded, but it's expanded because why? He allowed a different set of eyes to come in from the outside to see things that he couldn't see. Now, Correct. It's the same. It's going to take him to where God's calling him to pretty much end up, but it sometimes, just like I tell you, to get to where you want to go, you've got to help someone else or to incorporate, someone else's advice or insights to actually help you get
right.
there. And just like what you said, you didn't see it like that,
right.
As far as like in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I can guarantee you it's definitely going to continue to progress.
I believe so.
It is going to really, really progress. So, with Mel and Bucket Getters, I mean, there's just so much we can keep going on in this direction. But, that we don't want to jump into another topic point right now, right before the break.
Yes, sir.
So, exactly, Mel, right before break, we can go ahead and could you give them that contact information really quickly?
Okay, yeah, of course. You can reach us at Facebook at Bucket Getters Association. You can reach us on Instagram at BGA_2019. You can email us at campbucketgetters with an S at Yahoo. And of course, you can reach us at the YWCA on Turner Street. It's 318-445-8880.
Awesome. And look, we're about to go ahead and take this break, but stay in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this terrific Tuesday. Remember to call in with your questions or your comments. And again, we've got dynamic Mel Smith in the house.
Yes, sir.
Today
Good morning.
With Bucket Getters. And look, we've been talking about something that I was really, and I would say a lot of us really weren't aware that kids going to a basketball and, for lack of until we evolve that particular word. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, basketball academy. How about that? Okay. Basketball training academy to where they actually go forth with that and they're learning so many different skills and then they're learning the financial side of it. And, right at break, Mel and I were talking on some things about really it seems that, showing kids how to, not only value how to use money, all right, but valuing, those certain giftings that are on the inside of them. Because a lot of times, as parents, family members, people that you probably be in guardianship over kids, we kind of fail to, or should I say, we missed the boat in identifying what the giftings are of our kids, all right? And, let me just ask you this, like at Bucket Getters, I mean, when you identify when a kid is like, I don't know, really proficient, really good in a certain area, I mean, how do you actually, enhance or bring that out and then show them how to balance that with what else is going on in their life?
Okay, well, I think first we kind of, like you said, we kind of acknowledge it and we see it and we want to make sure they know, we want to make sure they know what they're good at, all the while kind of showing them the areas they need to work at, but I think when you continuously show them the areas they're good at, you kind of keep them engaged into working hard on the areas that they're not so good at.
That's good. Y'all hear that, huh? That's
so
good.
You never want to kind of just kind of key in too much on the areas of weaknesses, without pointing out their strengths as well, So it's kind of like a balance that we do, and then we always encouraging, especially when these kids are struggling in a certain area, whether it's on the court or in the classroom or anything dealing with personal life and stuff, man. We always encouraging, we always picking them up, we always trying to keep their heads lifted, and that is kind of telling them the good things about themselves,
right.
And that's what we kind of help them to see that and help them to start valuing and cherishing themselves, because you can't begin to learn and love others and stuff, man, until you learn to love yourself and appreciate who you are and what you bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it's one of the biggest hurdles I've actually come across when dealing with individuals is that Mel, it just seems like all the time they can see how they can help someone else. They can see how they can help a ministry. They can see how they can help a business or different whatever.
Yes,
but then when you start talking to them about, their dreams, their goals, their ambitions and everything like that, it's like they get under the microscope and they shrink down to what they're trying to, like they're trying to hide themselves from the world. Yeah. I mean, and it's just not kids, okay? It's across the spectrum from the youngest to the oldest. Right. And, the main thing is that when you actually, in a lot of sentences, and I know you definitely have come across this with kids, because kids are just going to just flat out just let you know, right? To where you try to highlight something that's good about them, but then immediately they start roll calling every single thing that might be wrong or what someone's told them that's
Someone
wrong.
told them, right. And so that's why I say you begin to just focus on their strengths, all while building their weaknesses. And that's why I think the importance of a team dynamic comes into play, because you let them know their importance on the team, how much they matter, whether they're the first man or the 12th man. The fact that you're part of this team and you have, a brotherhood or a family with you, that you have something to bring to the table, no matter how someone tries to minimize it. like it's actually big and it's actually important, and nobody could fill that role but you. You know, so we let them know how important they are and how much they mean, especially like in a team dynamic. You know, and I think once we start doing that, you know, the kid really starts to feel valued. They start to feel cherished, even if they get to the point where, you know, they are at the point where they can't really go on, or they want to quit, or they thinking about just giving it up. Like you start bringing in the accountability part of it, to where they don't want to let their teammates down, or they don't want to let their coach down. They don't want to let their parents down, and so they find that extra motivation and the extra strength to keep pushing on a personal level, because they're a part of a team now. They're a part of a family. You know, the same kids that you were getting into it with and fighting with, now you're on a team with those kids. Y'all might be from different neighborhoods and things like that, but when you step on the basketball court or you step into camp with these kids, that don't matter anymore. You know, this guy who was once your enemy is now your friend, is now your brother. You have to sweat and bleed with him. You have to go to battle with him. And I think that's the importance of bringing together, you know, these kids, like I said, especially from different areas of the city where things may be going on. But this place, you know, this gym and the camp and things like that being a place of hiatus for these kids, you know, where they can come and just
safe zone.
Yeah. Come and just relax and play ball and have fun and just get away from everything that's going on, you know, for 2-3 hours, you know, whatever. And then I think that just starts to add up when you get them in there 2-3 times a week. Pretty soon they want to be in there every day, you know. You're not even working on nothing. They just want to be in the gym. Hey, Coach Mel, can I, you know, I'm going to come this day. I'm going to come that day. Well, you know, we can't really work you out today because we got younger kids and stuff. Oh, that's cool, Coach. I'll come and help. Now all of a sudden they want to start helping and giving back to these younger kids as well. Excellent. You know, so to see the progress, man, it's just been amazing, you know, and it's something I truly thank God for every day, you know, and it just keeps me humble, you know, it keeps me prayed up, and it keeps me at a place where, you know, you want to continue seeing this, you know, you want to keep being this, like you say, this product of change within these kids' lives and things like that.
Awesome. And I mean, wow, just when you actually see that, and that's what it is in a nutshell. And a lot of people, you know, they ask me, why are you know, talking about the mentoring? Why are you talking about being that positive agent of change? You know, why is it that you just seem like, you know, you're hammering this whole level of total life success, you know, just because it stretches all the way from the spiritual to the mental, the emotional to the physical. You know, total package, total life success. And just how you said, and as I've said before with my wife, as an example, you never know how people will be transformed just from watching you live your life. Okay, if you are actually that positive agent of change. And look, you could have said that, well, it's been my desire all the time from the beginning before Bucket Getters started that, you know, some of these kids would actually just step up and want to step into the role to become, you know, mentors or whatever themselves. But when you actually see it happening, it's like a whole different thing from when you expect something to happen and then when you see it happen.
Right.
It takes on a whole different like dynamic in your mindset to where, and I'm sure when you've seen it, besides having a smirk on your face, you kind of just had to take this step back and like,
and really just appreciate it and see what God is really doing on a bigger scale. Because I think we, especially myself, man, we get so caught up in working and you know, just this daily grind, you know, and going and making sure, you know, everything is up to par and everything is running right, that you don't really see the full spectrum of what God is doing.
Right.
So like when you see it with your own eyes, you know, it does everything for you to help keep you pushing, you know, and then just keeping on that same line, you know, we train the Alexandria Armor, the ABA professional basketball team that's in Alexandria. They actually trained and worked out with us at Bucket Getters, and we sponsored them. They're in St. Louis right now. They're one of the final 8 teams in the country playing for the ABA championship.
Oh, awesome.
You know, so and it's just amazing, like I said, to start working with those guys and start training with those guys, and you know, to be at the end of a workout, you know, and those guys be like, some of those guys be like, hey man, you got the kids today coming later on? Well, you know, I'm gonna come back, man. I just wanna help. You know, I wanna get involved with them. I wanna, you know, come out and support or do whatever I can. you know, and even a lot of the college kids, when they come home and train during the summer, they want to do the same thing. You know, they just want to be in the gym all day. They want to work out, then they want to be in there helping with the kids and stuff. So that's another part of just seeing it, and then being in this position where you can kind of open the door and let those guys follow lead, you know. And speaking of them also, you know, they will be at the camp next week also helping out and just meeting with the kids and working with the kids and stuff like that. So it's just full circle, you know. It just comes full circle, and then the circle just get bigger, and then it comes full circle again. You know, it's like a never ending elevation, you know, with God, man.
I mean, it's funny at how, you know, even that, and people look at me when I say, well, just like what you said, I'm like, well, that's biblical. And people say, how is that even biblical? Well, it goes along to the same line when Moses, when he was over the people in the wilderness, and all of a sudden he had no idea how to lead this people. Yep. And then all of us then just so happens,
right.
His father-in-law Jethro pops up and provides the solution of how he should separate the elders and put the people in companies, right? So it's just like with you and how God has got you to a point, and God's like, okay, I'm going to have Mel, you're going to go to this level, and I'm going to work through you, but it's going to be like I'm going to work through you self. But then I'm going to show you how I'm going to bring in these other individuals that's going to show you to actually bring help to you to actually expand things. And I mean, like right now, I tell you, literally from the last time that you were on this show to right now, people now in business, you talk about exponential growth, things happening. I mean, it's literally like you're an entirely new organization versus last time you were here. I mean, that's profound right there.
Yes, sir.
That's profound. And look, I tell you, it's amazing at what God is doing with Bucket Getters. It's amazing at how Mel is just open to the leading and guiding of the Holy Spirit in all of this. And guess what? It's all about going through the process. And he's in his moment. Bucket Getters is in their moment. Everyone that's connected with the organization, they're in their moment. And look, I'm praying that God has you in your moment right now. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after the break. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this terrific Tuesday. And yet again, we have the dynamic Mel Gibson of Bucket Getters in the house with us today.
Yes, sir, in the building.
And he's bringing all the good knowledge. I mean, look, it's just lighting it up in here. And I tell you, my knowledge base has definitely been increased as far as like what they're doing over at Bucket Getters. And I know some of you right now, under the sound of my voice, too. you possibly been having your pen and paper, taking this information. And look, I told you that, you know, because of what God is doing and how at one point in time it seemed like it almost went to the deadline of when people could sign up for everything that's going on at Bucket Getters. And I think, Mel, you just actually let us know that even before the event started, I mean, you might have just filled up all of your spots and everything that you had.
We completely full now. We're at our max, you know, and we unfortunately we're not going to accept anyone else, you know, past this point. But we are going to start getting some dates together for our summer camps and stuff like that. And so anyone who wants to just roll over and get in that, you know, they'll have the opportunity to do that.
And, you know, like I said, definitely as the leading of the Holy Spirit is, I know Mel's going to be back on the show. I just allow the Holy Spirit to, like, let me know exactly when that is. And we're going to keep you updated as far as that's concerned. But, see, now that you see, okay, you get the realization and you know just how much Bucket Getters is making an impact in the community and definitely spreading throughout central Louisiana. And I already told Mel before when we spoke, hey, this isn't just going to be a local, statewide type thing. This is something that's got to go around the country, okay? So, you know, definitely in saying that, now for those of you that may have said, hey, maybe should I put my child in it, or maybe should I, you know, look into it? Look, now's the time to where you can actually start getting in on it on the ground floor, because the one thing I don't want to have happen is that people wait, and then when God just really gets Bucket Getters out there, okay, to where they always seem like, wow, I just can't get in. I mean, wow, it's just like it's almost on the waiting list every single time. So to actually start right now on the, I'm not even going to say on the ground floor, because we're well past the ground floor as far as like with Bucket Getters, but just to let you see the importance. And, you know, Mel, a lot of people might say, you know, why didn't you start this off in the beginning? And, you know, we're always talking about how to take you from, you know, that starting point with our listeners to, you know, where God is taking you, to going through that process, to tap into that seed of greatness that they have, to let them know that they can go to their own individual levels of success, no matter what that is, okay?
Right.
So, I want Mel to actually just go ahead and start just sharing his story, like from the beginning of when God gave him, dropped this seed, this nugget on the inside of him, and for him just to, like, bring us up to, where we are right now. I just want him to go ahead and freestyle about what God's doing in your life.
All right. We actually started, I'm not sure exactly, the year it started, but it was a seed that God had planted in my heart while I was still playing basketball.
Okay.
Still pursuing my dreams of playing professionally and stuff. And so, I'm kind of, going from place to place. I'm in Vegas, I'm in Miami, I'm in LA, man. I'm in Memphis. I'm just, pursuing my dreams and stuff. And, I actually started getting to the point where I was having, I come home for weeks and stuff at a time, and no longer than probably 2 weeks or whatever. And I was getting requests, to start working with kids, start working with individual kids and stuff. And I just was never home long enough to do it, and so, God really had placed it in my heart, that this was something I wanted to do once my playing career was over.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know when my playing career would be over, so I didn't really make preparations for it. So I came home, and I was actually home for an extended period of time, and I ended up, volunteering coaching for one of my friends' team. His son played on the team, and I ended up volunteering coaching, and from that, I started doing the individual training.
Mm-hmm.
With the parents that had requested for me to do it. And before I knew it, man, it just had taken off to the point where it became like I think it started off with certain days a week, certain times a week. Within a month or so, it was like every day, all day, every day, especially during the summer. And I had to start kind of, scheduling it to where I could have my older kids come at a certain time and the younger kids come at a certain
Mm-hmm.
time, So like I said, to be effective in what we was doing. And so from there, we kind of transitioned into the after school program part of it, and of course, it was geared on basketball at first. But then, like I said, when I came in contact with Tony Alonso, man, and Inspire, we kind of took that thing to a whole new level as far as with the camp and stuff, and started transitioning to the point where it was more than just basketball and stuff. And so from there, like I said, we still was doing the individual training side of it. And so now we got, where it branched off into two different sides, and so just doing that whole dynamic, man, and then, still being able to be involved with the YWCA Youth Basketball League, and able to, kind of oversee that and direct that, man, was like it all just tied in hand in hand. And it got to the point where it was like, man, I'm at the Y all day, every day, so let's really take advantage of this as far as with these kids and stuff, and let's kind of just go for everything we can do, for these kids to be able to provide a service for these kids and for these parents and stuff. And so now it transitioned into the day camps, like when they're out of school. We had all day camps for Christmas and New Year's, to where the kids were there all day. We provided breakfast and lunch for them and stuff like that, and that's when we kind of came up with the curriculum and stuff. And now we're transitioning into the Easter break camp, where it's going to be strictly basketball training, for beginners and intermediate players, not really any advanced players, because, like I said, while the youth league is going on, we hadn't been training no beginners or no intermediate players. We just been in training advanced kids, high school and college, and like I say, with the Alexandria Army and stuff. And so this is just an opportunity to be able to get the beginners and the intermediate players in there, and not really, neglect them at this time as well. So, man, it's just been a process. It's been a journey. It's been one step at a time, and it's almost like, it's going to 100 it started at 0, it's going to 100, but I'm glad that it didn't go from 0 straight to 100, because during the process of it being gradual, we've been able to learn so much. We've been able to take our time and get things right. We've been able to, pan out any mistakes and things we made, any complaints and stuff we'd had. We had time to kind of work all those things out and kind of, put a genuine product on the market, basically.
There you go.
That's quality, that's effective, and that's getting results. We always say we want to teach, inspire, and motivate, And that's exactly what we've been able to do, throughout this whole process.
Awesome. I mean, awesome. And I'm listening to, Mel to give his story. And I definitely want to touch on this really quick, before we even go into our final break. But look, basically how you were saying this, okay, is I'm listening to you, right?
Right.
You know how the God does it with this brain over here, okay? So I'm listening to you, and it's basically like this. A lot of times people, they always say, okay, Lord, what is my gifting? Okay, you were seeking professional ball the entire time.
Yes, sir.
But each and every time you were coming back from break, this situation or this instance of what was really on the inside of you, what he wanted you to do, kept getting put in front of your face.
Yeah.
These kids. And I've tried to share that with people so many different times that, okay, you're trying to figure out what your gifting is or what your purpose is or what your call is in life. Identify the thing that seems to be always right in front of you. It's just like always there. No matter what you do, it just seems to be coming up, and it's like people.
It's like tugging at your heart.
Yeah.
Basically, it is gently doing it.
All the time. And people, it seems like for whatever reason, it seems to be similar or always the same type of subject matter, whatever it is, and it just keeps coming up into your realm of influence. And yet, it just, for whatever reason, you are the individual that has the answer, per se. Now, they may have other people that are doing things with kids on other levels and things out there. But I mean, as far as right now in this area, God says, okay, I'm using Mel, working through Mel to establish bucket getters. And what I'm going to do through him is going to just affect this area. This is like how we talk about going into Canaan and receiving, your promised land. Where if you didn't realize you're a believer, you're in Canaan, and now you just need to take your possession.
Yes, sir.
But the thing is that he's actually taking his possession, and he's not trying to run and just grab the little trinkets. He's doing it in a systematic way, okay? And how Mel just said, I'm just so happy we're up to 100 now. I'm just so happy that it didn't go from 0 to 100 quickly.
Right.
And you identified that process of how God allowed you to gain knowledge and wisdom and grow through it to where you can actually handle what's going on now.
Right.
And seeing that, now you've got a totally great foundation that's been built. And now he's going to actually start bringing up the walls and everything, to everything he's doing. So, man, I'm just, like I said, I'm thanking God for what he's doing through you and your organization, and exactly how he's bringing all of this help in.
Yes, sir.
And it's unexpected help if you really look at it.
Right.
Because literally from a pro level, a college level, from people volunteering, the kids within the organization.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't have scripted that out if you even tried. How it was going to happen.
It's very much appreciated. Trust me, it's very much appreciated.
So, look, I tell you what, Mel just gave some really good tips and some life lessons, but use those life lessons to stay in your moment, and we'll see you when we come right back from break. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuz and on this terrific Tuesday, and we still have Mel Smith of Bucket Getters in the house. And look, he was just giving you a little excerpt before the break of, his personal story, where he's come from, the things that he's been doing. And I can tell you right now that Bucket Getters and Mel and the people that are connected with him, he's right on the precipice. And if let me just say right on the edge of just going over. And I'm not talking about going over and falling down to something that's in a bad way, but falling into bigger and better of what God has in store for him. And the reason that I actually wanted Mel to share his story, okay, it's one thing for me to give you examples. It's one thing for me to give you, little snippets of what God's done in my life and in my family's life. But it's another thing for you to actually hear it firsthand and how God is actually using someone to really bring about what he wants to have happen, in this world that'll bring him glory. I mean, Mel definitely, I don't care what you say, okay? I don't care if you want to look at him and you want to say, okay, young black male, athletic, whatever. Everybody's going to have that stigma about an individual. Everyone has their hang-ups about something, okay? But even with that, just as I said on one show on last week, just to take the dirt that people's throwing at you and just put it down when you're laying your foundation, okay?
Yes,
and so it's basically, you needed to actually hear on this day, on this terrific Tuesday, and how someone is actually doing what is necessary out there, all right? And, we're just talking as far as with Mel a little bit before the break, and, one of these days we're actually going to get a lot of these after break moments so
Right,
people can
yeah.
actually, tune in with that. But what's really interesting is that, right now, as we said, their organization, Mel's organization, is on the brink of really just breaking out of the seams. Okay, where they're going to need, bigger facilities. I've also been calling in, the transportation vehicles, the sponsors for, clothing for the kids. I mean, why not have a facility? Okay, and I like this. This is another thing that just popped. Why not actually have a training facility or this training academy for kids? And you also have like classrooms and everything that are on the inside of here. I mean, you've got things to actually, well, it sounds funny, but especially young males nowadays, especially, African-American males out there, or minority males, a lot of them really don't know how to present themselves to the world.
Right,
okay.
right.
I mean, and myself, personally, until I actually got with said individuals, and this was probably when I was in my 20s or whatever, someone showed me how to really dress the right way, go on job interviews or whatever it is. But I mean, I just see that as a real, increased portion of what you're actually doing with these kids.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, it's just, like I said, I'm just in awe about what God is really, really doing. And something, definitely right now, I don't like to wait till the last moment. Man, just go ahead and give them more of the information. Exactly. If you want to share as far as like how that they can actually be a part or a blessing unto bucket getters, whatever you want to do, go ahead and share that information.
Okay. Well, like I said, you can always reach out to us on any of the social media platforms. We definitely always encourage, people within our community to come out and help and support, man. We've had so many guest speakers come in.
Awesome.
And kind of share about what their professions are, their connections to athletics growing up, whether they played different sports or they coached in different sports, and, just their overall experiences and things that they learned growing up and along the way, and just giving back to these kids. Our doors are always open for that, because like you said, that's part of the exposure port, and that's part, that we want to be able to give to these kids, man. So you can always come in, like I said, and reach out to us about speaking. We had several people that just called, man, and want to donate a cooler for the Gatorade, or they want to bring in some snacks for the kids and stuff like that. I mean, there's so many ways to just give and just help out, man, and support. And, we're pretty much open to all of it. And we look forward to our next big community event. We're planning it right now. We just got to get some dates down packed, man, where we're going to just have a fun day. Like I said, for the whole community to come out and just enjoy and bring the kids and just, have a day of just friends and fellowship and just learn, about the different things we're offering and stuff like that. So kind of just be looking out for that. We have a great, terrific partnership with the YWCA and Katie Vanderlick, Marley Chapman. It's been terrific working with them. This location that we're at on Turner Street, man, it provides the essentials of everything we need, as far as with the gym, as far as with the classrooms and stuff like that. And it's been, it's just been a central hub for us to really thrive and do the things we're doing, so to be able to work with them and the great and terrific job they're doing with the YWCA, it's just been all great things, all around the board, man. So we're just excited about, like I said, we're excited about where we at. We're thankful for the things that God has done for us, and we're just looking forward to what He's going to do in the future.
Awesome. I tell you, and I mean that just like really speaking volumes as far as like it's always one thing. I know definitely first and foremost giving God His praise and glory for all that He's doing in each and every one of our lives, but to actually you can put that in a way to where it's like tangible to people. And a lot of people get caught up in thinking in their giving, it needs to be something like huge. Okay, I mean it could be, I remember just like you said, someone donated a cooler, someone brought some snacks. I mean whatever it can be, to actually help out. Someone can just come up in there and say, hey, Mel, I mean you and the other coaches or the people that are working out with you, they didn't just put so much effort. And, you may have to stay in there and just say if you had to do some sweeping up or straightening chairs or whatever, they may come in there and do something like that.
And they have been doing that. We've had people that reached out that want to just come in and sweep the floor, come in and mop the floor, come in and just help put up the new rims that we just got in there. We had people that want to come in and just put up new nets, like I say, man, it's just been so much giving, and that's a part of what we equate to because we give, we give and we sow seed, and that's what we believe we're doing with these kids each and every day. It's a lot of days that we go home exhausted, because we have gave so much,
right?
And then we replenish and we refocus and we get up and we do the same thing the next day.
That's it.
So I'm a big believer that you reap what you sow, and all we want to sow is positive things. We want to sow love. And we just want to be, the biggest givers we can be.
Absolutely.
And in return, man, like I said, we've received a lot of support.
Absolutely. And, wife just brought to my attention how at one point in time God used us when our kids were on the track team, when we lived in Mississippi, and how she made some ham and cheese sandwiches. And, she was making them when they were going, and you would have thought that was like steak or something for these kids. Yeah. No mayonnaise, no anything, just some ham and some
back
cheese.
Back to the basics.
And then they were just looking like, oh, my Lord, what did your mama put on them sandwiches and stuff? My kids were like, it's just ham and cheese. But because they appreciated it so much because, well, no one else, they had people that were helping, but just because someone took a vested interest in actually helping them and taking care of their nutritional needs, they really appreciate it. And, Mel's actually doing that. The people out there that are volunteering, you guys are great. Okay, you're great. And believe me when I tell you, when Mel's saying that about you, he's really being sincere about that. Because why? I mean, he'll even tell you, and we don't have time, we got a couple minutes left, but the thing is that no one gets to where they are in life without some level of help. No one gets that far. And it's just not going to happen, okay? And how we're always saying, when you teach one, you reach one, okay? And then in turn, they'll do the same thing. But, right now, how many of you out there are actually working your dreams? Are you working your dreams consistently like Mel is working his, okay? We can't have you to call in right now because we've got about a couple minutes left, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to, In the Moment with Court, okay, on Facebook, all right? Hit us up on Facebook. Go ahead, do like an instant message, leave a question or a comment. You're going to see the recordings or whatever on Facebook of this broadcast that we have today that's airing, okay? You're going to see it on there. I want to see your questions or comments that you may have and let us know what you are doing, okay, to really work your dream. And when you put your feedback on there, on the next show, okay, we're going to bring that live and talk about exactly why. Now, if you actually want to be on air with it, leave your contact information like in instant messenger as far as like a number, get in contact with you, and then you can call in. We'll connect with you to call in and definitely speak about that, on this broadcast. So, look, I tell you, definitely since we are more than in our moment right now, and, like I said, we're like right down in Mel. Is there anything before we go out on, this terrific Tuesday? Anything you want, any other information, anything you want to share? I mean, hey, why don't you just go ahead and just, take us out?
Man, I really just want to, give all glory to God, man, and express how truly grateful I am to be in a great community, to be a part of this community and to be in a position to give back to these kids, man, and do everything that God put in my heart to do, to have a platform to do that. I just want to say how extremely grateful I am to have a terrific team with me, with Coach Newman, with Coach Tony Alonso, and his whole Inspire team, and even the kids and the, the professionals who have came out and helping to support, man, the leadership at the YWCA, man. I just want to be, I just want to give special thanks to all those guys, man, and tell you how much I appreciate y'all and how much, you guys mean to me and to this organization.
Awesome. And look, that's Mel Smith at Bucket Getters, and we'll see you tomorrow on Halfway There Wednesday from In the Moment. Take care and God bless you.